Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tuplex. Welcome to episode 3 of our Vanilla Megabase series. I just been spending a few moments here watching this part of the base run, and I think we need more iron plates, because you can see here that this stuff is struggling to run at full speed. All the inserters are gone. Let's see. Yeah, it's waiting for gears. And this thing runs rather slowly because it's often waiting for iron plates, let's say. And then you've got like these four furnaces are only feeding the ammo production. You know, so one thing we could do is if we move that inserter there, that'll give these two guys a better chance to grab the plate that comes out before it ends up going here. But in general, one side of a yellow belt can support 24 furnaces. And we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. All right, so I'd like to expand this by 4. So let's move this down a bit. And let's see if we can squeeze in 4 more iron furnaces. Let's see, I think I can, yeah, good. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we want that to be, whoops. I need to put the splitters in the spot that I'm accustomed to have them. Where did my splitter go? Oh, there they are. Okay. Okay. And then we could add more copper plate too if we need it. I don't know if we do need it. Let's take a look. No, I think we're doing fine with the copper plate. All right. So let's get these powered up. I should have left another space here. I need space for the power pole. All right, not a big deal. We can add one more tile to this. There we go. And like that. Okay. What's the next research we want to do? Let's start doing some bullet upgrades. I did bullet damage 1. Let's do shooting speed, and then we'll do military 2. Military 2 gives us access to better weaponry, but I really don't have the resources to produce it at any high speed. We need steel, so. All right, and then we're going to increase this. And then since we added 4 more furnaces, we need to move this center point down by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, so we need, whoops. We need this belt rebalancing thing here to move down. Okay. And then I'll keep these furnaces here because these will continue to use up whatever excess material we have. But if all these furnaces are running at full speed without any backup, then I expect that eventually the iron is going to run out down here. And that'll be fine. Let's get the steel. Okay, so let's see if that's helping. Looks like that it should help a bit. Okay, let's get rid of the extra ore that I've picked up. And I have some stone here. I'll start making some more furnaces. We're gonna need a lot of furnaces soon. So let me go ahead and I'll grab half of the stone that I've got in here, and I'll just start fabricating furnaces en masse. A couple people were kind enough to point out that I forgot this pipe here. Thank you very much. So I wasn't getting any power out of these last two. So that should fix that. All right, bullet shooting speed. We'll do military 2. No, let's do gun turret damage. I think we want to try to get our bullet speed and damage up as high as we can before we start getting biter attacks. So, okay, so what should we do next? I think the next thing that we should do is start to figure out what the layout of the base is going to be. All right, so first of all, I'm going to design this base for 45, the starter base anyway. I'm going to design for 45 science per minute, as I often do. Except for red and green, I'll design for 90, just because there's a lot of red and green research at the beginning that we can knock out fairly quickly. And red and green science doesn't require a lot of resources. So with one smelting line of iron and another of copper, we should be able to accommodate 90 per minute on red and green. And then the rest of it we'll start doing with 45 per minute. Okay, so now that I have some steel, I can make a steel axe, which is a much better tool. I think we can now make a heavy armor to replace the light armor. And then I also want to make a few of these big electric poles. And I want the electric poles because I'm thinking of setting up the base in a city block design, which I haven't done before, but I'd like to try something a little bit different this time. So the question will then be, how far apart do we make these? I think I clicked this a little too early. So we can use large power poles as kind of the way to space things out. Right, so maybe let's make some assembly machines. Okay, we got that done. That's great. What do I get from military 2? I get grenades. Yeah, I'm going to do this now because grenades are very helpful for clearing trees. So what I'm wondering here is if I make the sections one power pole apart, if that's going to be good. 1, 2, 1, 2, so we can get undergrounds in and out. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, yeah, so that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That gives me 24 tiles to work with. And I think that's probably going to be good enough. I'll do engines. That'll get us closer to trains. And then we can produce, one science pack or one commodity in each of these sections. And we could separate them with some stone brick. Let me grab a little bit of stone so we can see how that would look. And I think I'll just do the stone brick at the same width of the power poles. Well, I might as well grab some more of it and make more furnaces. I'm going to need lots of furnaces. Oh, crud. That was a little too much. Well, at least I can make at least one stone brick. All right, let's cancel that. Okay, so it would be, yeah, 2 by 2. Of course, we don't want these. We don't want these to be on the path exactly, right? So maybe so we could do the path like this. Let me get some more of these guys involved. Sorry, I should have crafted these ahead of time. Right, so we could have our power poles go to like the bottom right corner of each little cell. Yeah, and then they could even be like this. We could leave more space, of course, but that's 2 tiles there. Right, and the reason I want 2 tiles is so that we can come in with an underground belt and get out. And we've got 2 tiles there too. Okay, engines are done. What else do we need to get to trains? Logistics 2. Let's start doing that. 1, 2. Yeah, so I think this will work out fairly well. And this is just for the starter base. And if we have to span more than one of these cells to make any particular thing, I think that's fine. Okay. So it'll be like that. So, you know, we can have one of these for making red science, and then in the next one we'll make green science. And then we can have the main bus running in 1 or maybe 2 of these sections. So I think that'll be a nice way to organize the base. Let me grab some more stone, and then what I'm going to do is make a blueprint of this so that we can use that to help us lay out the rest of the base. I just want to finish that little bit of stone brick there. Okay. I'm going to grab some more coal. And I'm sorry if this episode seems a little slow. I know it's not the most exciting thing, listening to me plan things out. Although I do know that a lot of people appreciate following along with the thinking that goes along with it. Okay. There we go. All right. 2. Is that correct? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to clear this blueprint, and I'll reuse it for this. I want to include tiles, and I don't want to include those things. All right, so then we can use this to lay out the sections, and then even if I don't have the power poles or the stone brick, we can still use these to lay them down. And actually, let's add a couple tiles. Let's kind of make the plus shape here so that we can, perhaps we can use that to rotate up and down as well. Let's see. Yeah, see, there's a problem. It's not symmetrical if we do it this way, is it? I suppose I could remove the power poles. could do it without the power poles. And then we can just lay it out like that. Or better yet, why don't we lay out a complete square, since that's going to be the basic unit that we're working with. Yeah, I think that's a better idea. Okay. So that's how we're going to organize things. Now let's get a blueprint eraser and erase all those ghosts. And then I can pick up this stone by hand. I don't think I necessarily want to start it here. But we do need to pick out a suitable location to begin. So I want to start these squares or these grids somewhere that will clear us of our main resources. And I'll have to go fairly far, well, not real far north, up to around here. Because I want to go either north-south, or I want to go west, or I want to go south to north, or I want to go west to east, just because I feel more comfortable with the bus going in those directions. So if we, I wish this stone wasn't right there, because I want to cut across here. Well, here's the thing. We're gonna have to do smelting first. So we could start the smelting lines like right here, going from west to east. And we'll have 4 iron, 4 copper, 1 steel, or let's do iron, steel, and then copper, so that way all the iron goes to the same place. Or steel, iron, copper, whatever. Or maybe we do copper, iron, steel. That's probably better. We'll do copper, iron, steel, and then we'll have stone brick. And we can line those all up here. We'll have to build on top of this copper patch. It's not a big deal, though. It's pretty small. And then we'll merge those into a bus, and we'll keep heading in the same direction. I think that sounds like a good plan. All right, so let's put a stake in the ground, metaphorical stake in the ground, where the first smelting line will be. And I want it to be north of the copper, or I'm sorry, north of the coal patch. North and east of the coal patch. Sorry, I have to keep correcting myself. Okay, can we start right there? I think this is as good a place as any. Okay. I'm not going to use my regular blueprint. I like to do this a little bit differently this time. Normally I have a solid line, and then but then I need 3 rows of power poles. But in this case, I think I'd rather do it with the power poles in between. It makes it a little bit easier, especially when we get to steel. All right, so generally we're going to have something like this, just to get this spaced out properly. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this should move. Let's keep this in the middle, like that. And there'll be another one there. And then we'll have fuel going in there. Now, in this case, 1, 2. This could be the fuel line. And then all the ores will be coming up like this. right? So this will be the first line of iron. Oh, okay, good. Ooh, we can make a car already. That's not a bad thing. Is that what we want to do? Yeah, let's go ahead and make a car. All right, let's move this out by one more. All right, so this will be fuel, and then we can, we can just split it off like that for each line. 1, 2, yeah, and then these will be the lines of ore. Like that. And then we'll have these smelting units in between, like such. Okay. Oh. I just destroyed my blueprint. Okay, well, we'll recreate it later. That's not a big problem. Okay, and then we can use blueprints to help show us where the rest of it's going to go. No, I didn't put that in the right place. There we go. Let's, I'll just do the next one manually. And of course, everything I'm doing in the area with no lights, it's going to be nighttime. Hope you're enjoying that. Okay, and then we can take a blueprint of this. All right, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Is that right? Yeah, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. What? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay. I must have counted some of the bad ones. Is that right? Yeah. 22, 24. Okay. So that's one smelting line. And then we can copy that whole thing. Save it, and then that'll be for the other lines. So like I said, we're going to need 4 iron. But actually, let me put that away and make a new blueprint. I won't copy the whole thing yet. What I'll do is I'll just copy a couple of belt segments to show me the width of it. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's going to be our iron line. All right, so let me head back to where we started. And what I'm going to do now is start making grenades and a car, so that'll make doing the rest of this a little bit easier. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of running around. Okay, let's do some more bullet damage. How much iron do I have there? Okay, so grenades take iron and coal. so I think we can do something a little creative here. First of all, let's get rid of these guys. There's coal, there's iron, and we'll output to a box, and we'll just do one stack. That should be enough. Okay. And I'll give this a head start with some extra coal and iron from my personal stash. So we'll let that run for a little while. We'll take that. Let's see. What else do we need to do with this? Oh, the car. Yeah, let's make a car. So for that, we're going to need how many engines? I need 8 engine units, and those take steel, gears, and pipes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 8 gears. Oh, okay. I've got plenty of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I need 16 pipes. 5, 10, 15, and 16. Okay, so we'll let that go, and then we'll be able to make a car when we're done. Okay, I've got 7 grenades already, so let's... Now, 7 is not a lot, because... I'll tell you why. Because right now... And I can make some of these by hand, too. At this stage, since we don't have any damage upgrades, it's going to take 2 grenades to clear any trees. Because 1 won't do the job. Once we get, I think, the 3rd level of grenade damage researched, then you can one-shot trees with the grenades. So that'll be a goal of mine fairly early on, is to get grenades upgraded to that level. But for now, I'm just going to see if I can clear these out. Yeah, see, it takes 2. Okay, so that's way better than trying to do these manually. Okay, so we can start filling this out with the rest of the time that we have available today. And this will be our first official smelting line. We'll get rid of those, get rid of those. We don't need the extra belt at the end. Okay, let's start making a bunch of wooden power poles. So I'm going to need a lot of them. And we'll put those grenades on hold. Alright, and then once you put the power poles down, then you can just run down the line with your stack of furnaces and they'll all go in the right place. Oh, man. So close. And I love it when I get my first big smelting line set up, because that's when the starving for iron plates essentially comes to an end. At least for handcrafting and stuff, because you can just, you know, this is one of these smelting lines is just way more iron than you need for, you know, for the first part of getting the base set up. Okay, so that's bullet damage done. I don't really want the tool belt yet. It's just going to make it harder for me to find stuff. I don't really need the slots at this moment. So we'll do shooting speed. Let's go back and see how many inserters we can steal. And in fact, while we're setting up these smelting lines, maybe I can even just put science on hold and just have this thing crank out inserters into a box, because you need quite a lot of them to set up these smelting lines. Let's see how our engines are doing. Okay, we've got our 8 engines, so we now have a car. It's fantastic. We got a lot of grenades. Oh, nice. And I've got a lot of inserters. And I'm just going to gobble up everything on this line. I'm going to steal those belts because I'm going to need a lot of them. Perfect. All right. And now we have a car. This will make getting around the base a lot faster and a lot more frustrating because they're hard to drive and I'm constantly crashing into things, as you're very soon going to find out. Okay, so let's see if we can get at least this first smelting line done before we finish here. And then, you know, clearly I'm going to need a lot of belts to get the raw materials over here. Oops. But once I get this one done, then I'll update my blueprint because my blueprint had a couple extra bits of belt at the end that we don't want to copy many times. And then later on, when we upgrade to steel furnaces and red belts, we can plop those down. You know, we can just put them right on top of this stuff, and that'll double our throughput once you go to steel furnaces and red belts. Okay, so let's update this blueprint. And I'm going to copy it along with the fuel feeder line there. Okay, so that's our smelting line. And as I said, we'll end up copying this. We'll have 4 copies for iron. We'll have 4 for copper. But we'll just start with one of each. I'm not going to build all of them right now. We'll start with one of each, and that'll be enough for a while. So that'll do it for today. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.